I always believe that personalized gifts, especially handmade ones, are more memorable when you give them to friends and to family. So if you're looking for DIY gift ideas, here's one that I'd like to share with you. Hi, I'm Rama and welcome to my art space. I'm going to make some gifts for friends who are about to leave abroad for mission work. So what I'm going to do is make some bookmarks and pair them with hand-painted journals. So for this project, I'm going to use some paints. Either watercolor or gouache will do. But I prefer gouache because they have a thicker consistency compared to watercolor. And for the bookmarks, I'm going to need some specialty paper. When creating bookmarks, I want to use paper that is thick enough. I think this is better than using a common typewriting paper or bond paper because these types of papers are thin and get crumpled easily. I'm sure you don't want to see your personally designed bookmarks deteriorate easily, don't you think so? How would you find out whether a paper is thick enough? On the package, check for the GSM, or grams per square meter. The higher the GSM, the thicker and heavier a paper is. The journals I'll be designing is made of recycled paper from Papelmelroti. So these can be brought in trees for only 115 pesos or that's around $2. The covers of all these journals are blank, so it's up to you how you want to design them. For a classic bookmark, I traced out rectangular shapes on the paper. Each rectangle measured 3 by 15 centimeters, about the length of these journals. Then, cut them out. I took 3 of them to make bookmarks. It's time to start painting. I designed these bookmarks based on the personalities and interests of the receivers. For this one, I painted a young boy riding an elephant during sunset because he is to embark into a new adventure in Thailand. While waiting for the first one to dry up, I started to work on the second one. This one's for a mom who loves plants. I just based this one on some of our plants at home. Finally, this is the third and the last bookmark for today. This one is for a dad who loves sports. While painting this, I am reminded of the victory Jesus has made over the lives of each and every member of this family. By the way, I think you can guess the sports this person who will receive the gift loves to play. If you think I'm done, the back of these bookmarks also need a good design. Once they're dried up, I'm going to have them laminated to ensure they're protected. In painting each of the journals, I'd add paper beneath the cover to make sure that the paint would not leave a mess in the inner pages. The design will be based on this bookmark. The process of painting on a cover is similar to that of painting on a canvas. I want to make a thick layer of the background by adding more paint. And it should be a white paint because I didn't want the blue sky to look faded because of the original color of the recycled paper, which was brown. I'm turning this part into a darker hue of blue since it depicts twilight. Then I add yellow to depict the sun rays in the horizon and a tinge of orange. Then I use white paint to make a sort of an outline for the boy and the elephant. I consider white paint as a safer option for making an outline because it's not easy to cover up mistakes made with black paint, even though this was gouache paint. When the white outline is done, that's when I put on the black paint. Somehow, the purpose of the white paint is to also show how the sunlight is hitting on the outline of the subjects. It just takes time for one layer of paint to dry up. I have to wait for it to dry so that the color of the new layer would not mix up with the color of the background layer. Just like watercolor, dried gouache paints can be reactivated when dampened. And of course, I painted the back cover. And the elephant and the boy in a different angle. Well, I originally intended this to be a father carrying a son, but it did not turn out well. Then I add words of encouragement that I believe that the Lord wanted to share with them. And the Bible verse on the back. One journal down. On to the second one. Just like in the first journal, I'm going to use white paint to make an outline. I painted the vase first, then added a little shadow below. Let's make this shadow a bit of like a reflection on the table. Even though the plants are not there yet, I'd like to add the light and the shadows on the vase. There's just the risk of these being covered up by the plants when they're painted on the foreground. So let me ask you, plantitos and plantitas, do you know what plant I'm painting here? I'm gonna give 10 brownie points to those who can guess it. And a virtual hug too. Actually, it's based on our black velvet plant. I have already introduced this plant in one of my videos, and I'll share to you the link in the description box for you to see it. My lettering is really bad unless I use zig pens. Whoops, this is just the front part. I'm using the same technique on the back, but with a different plant. I'd let you guess again what plant I'll be painting after painting this vase. I did not need a white outline for this because this plant is simple to paint and it doesn't need to cover too much layers. So I was confident that I would never make a mistake here. If you still couldn't guess, well, this is actually a snake plant and I'm sure lots of you have this plant at home. It's easy to grow because it doesn't need too much water and it can thrive even with little sunlight. I got a good lettering this time. I really feel good when I paint plants. It's time to work on the final journal. we're on the messiest part. One of the downsides of this toothbrush painting technique is that it can leave huge splatters. Well, since I intended to make stars, I'll make these huge splatters as larger stars. Let's make this one shine. I started the back cover first because the front cover design is going to be a challenge. This trophy is an encouraging sight for what I'm about to do. I'm not really much familiar with basketball, so I'm a bit worried on how this will turn out. But the one that even worried me more was the anatomy of the basketball player. You see, human anatomy is not really my strength when it comes to painting. I could not even get faces right, even my own face. But you know, we shouldn't back out from a challenge. When we go through one, we become stronger. I'm sure this one's not going to be perfect, but that does not mean that I should stop here. I still hope my gifts would be a blessing to my friends, especially the encouraging words that I write here. Wow, I like the lettering of this one. I also designed 2 small sketchbook covers for 2 little girls. Finally, I'm done with all the bookmarks and the journals after so many days of working on them. Well, not really so many days, but I have interval of days. But it took me quite long to finish them because, of course, making one side sometimes would take an hour or even more. Well, the pictures were not perfect, but I like how they all turned out. And after this, I'm going to wrap them up and give them as gifts tomorrow at the church to my friends. And I really hope they would like them. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you like this video, please do leave a thumbs up. And also leave a comment. And if you're here for the first time, do subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you would be notified for future videos. Again, I'm Rama and hope to see you again in my next art space.
Ay, hindi. Huwag niyo masyadong ganunin. Eh, parang ako ganun lang. Ganun. Yan. Isa pa. Ganun. Yan. Malalabas. Ganyan.
Ano ba, hindi ko maintindihan kung ano sagot.
Ganyan.
Ano ba yung kapitbahay? Ingay-ingay. Shhh!
Ang ingay ng kapitbahay. Ang ingay-ingay po nila. Ang ingay din ng washing machine.